Today we're going on an adventure in our 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser First Edition. Our destination is the Three Peaks Loop out on the Washington Peninsula just south of the Olympic Mountains. I expect there will be some challenging sections and some epic views. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. This episode is brought to you by Onyx Off-Road. Save 20% off a new membership using the code DSTV. At the time of filming, it's now early fall in the Pacific Northwest. The leaves have started to change. The rains are just around the corner. And then right after that, we're going to get lots of snow up in the mountains. But before these roads become impassable, I want to do one more adventure into the Olympic Mountains. Today, I'm driving my 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser on a scouting expedition. Our destination, the Three Peaks Loop. And the tool we're going to be using for a lot of navigation today is Onyx Off-Road, who also happens to be the sponsor of this video. Click the link below or scan this QR code to save 20% off your own personal membership. Onyx Off-Road is an invaluable tool that I've personally used for years to help plan my adventures. It features up-to-date information, photos, and difficulty ratings to make sure you can get in and out safely. If you jump up to the elite level, you can also see property owners to let you know if you're on public or private land. So go ahead and click that link below or scan this QR code, save 20%, and also help support this channel. So let's pull off and take a look at what we have here. Our destination there is the Three Peaks Loop. According to Onyx, most of the Three Peaks Loop is still accessible, although some of the road is damaged due to erosion, so we aren't going to be able to do the complete loop. It's also rated a 4 out of 10, which means that a vehicle like this Land Cruiser should be able to get through it no problem. At the very least, I think we'll have some excellent views as we're crossing through a lot of mountain roads. There's also a lake, Wynoochee Lake, which we'll be driving by, which will be neat. We'll take a stop there. Maybe we'll do some lunch there. And I will be losing cellular signal as I go into the mountains here. So I am going to make sure that I have all the maps downloaded here in Onyx so that I can access them wherever I am, which is pretty neat. And of course, there's an Apple CarPlay app, so I can monitor it up here and I don't have to handle my device. Right. Well, let's go do it. So this location is a couple hours outside the city of Seattle. You have to go from Seattle down through Tacoma, over to Shelton, up 101, and then you're out on the peninsula, and you can start to then explore into the mountains. Now, the interesting thing about the Olympic Mountains versus the Cascade Mountains, which the Cascade Mountains are what you see in the photos always behind Seattle. Mount Rainier is part of the Cascade Range. The Olympics are a lot more wild. I say that as I'm coming up to roadwork on the Forest Road, which is interesting. Oh, wow. Some serious roadwork on the Forest Road. Now, the vehicle that I'm driving here is my own personal 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser First Edition. This is the absolutely loaded to the max Land Cruiser that you could buy from Toyota for 2024. And of course, because it's a first edition, it is a limited edition. I think they made about 5,000 of these. And it has gone away for 2025. At the time of filming here, Toyota has already announced what the changes are for 2025. They've raised the price across the board, about $500 on all trims. They got rid of the upper trim, and so now they just have the 1958 entry-level trim, as well as the Land Cruiser trim, which is the standard mid-trim. Of course, you can also add a premium pack on top of the mid-trim and add all the accessories to kind of get you up to a first edition Land Cruiser, but this one says first edition in the door panels, so it's special. Now, this vehicle I have modified slightly. I put proper 33-inch Falcon AT4W tires on it, which I am loving. They are the HDE loads, though, so they are super heavy. They do put a knock on miles per gallon because, of course, they're super heavy. And when you add extra weight, you ruin economy. It's just a thing. Plus, they're super knobby tires, so they also add extra resistance to rolling. But I love them. These things are fantastic. They have such good grip in all conditions, And they're also 3-peak rated for snow. So I'm definitely going to try this thing out in the snow when that snow finally hits. Normally in the Pacific Northwest, we can start to expect snow around October, November. It doesn't usually hit till probably December. It just depends on what kind of season we're going to have. But I'm definitely looking forward to doing some more winter testing with this setup. Absolutely. So this might actually be my last just forest road adventure with this vehicle before we, at least on film, before we start getting into the cold season. So this is going to be fun. So the route that we are taking today does take us along some other locations that I filmed at. I did a video with the Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness exploring one of the other loop roads out here. We're going to pass by where that was. We're actually going deeper into the Olympics than I've done on any other video here. And that is why I'm excited for this. I'm going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the Olympics until I have explored all the roads, or at least most of them. The tricky thing, of course, too, is that a lot of these roads, they close. Not only do they close because of the weather, but they also close because of erosion. And then eventually they get back out here and they fix them up. But, you know, sometimes that's a long time gap. While we're in the boring section here, let's cover some of the features of this 2024 Land Cruiser. Under the hood is a 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine combined with an electric motor for a total system output of 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. Full-time four-wheel drive is standard, and in fact it's always four-wheel drive thanks to a lockable Torsen center differential. It also has a rear locker in addition to Toyota's multi-terrain select and crawl control systems. I paid about $77,275 US, including destination, for this vehicle. And then of course I upgraded the wheels and tires, which was a few thousand more. From the dealer, it did arrive with Michelin LTX trail tires on 18-inch wheels. Those had to go. And I also removed the little air dam in front of the tires. When new, this Land Cruiser would get about 21 miles to the gallon in mixed driving. Now I'm getting about 16 or 17 miles to the gallon, and I'm okay with that. While planning today's adventure, I did go into Onyx and I added a route guide. So I actually have a brown line that's showing me tracks to my destination, which is really nice. It makes, again, planning these adventures where you need to go on these forest roads, which Google Maps and Apple may not want to take you down, makes it just so much easier. Now, it is interesting that we are out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm off-grid at this point, and I'm on a paved road. You know, forest roads are kind of funny. We went from dirt road to dirt road to dirt road to paved to dirt to paved, and now we've just been on paved for the last 20 minutes. You never know what you're going to expect, and that's actually why I love vehicles like this, is that they really can handle anything you throw at them, even if the thing you're throwing at it is a very comfortable paved road. So this is actually the first fork in the road, and I'm curious what it's like down here. Ooh, what's this road? There's a little water access road right over here. Let's take a look. Oh, what a great camping location. I'll have to remember this place. Continues to go into the woods a little bit. Looks like they're going to do some cutting here. All right. Well, neat. Now let's get back on the track. That was muddier than I thought it was going to be. And we're going to continue scouting down this road and see where this goes. Now, according to Onyx, this is going to connect to the Brown Creek campground. We should have a bridge down here or something. Oh no, before we get to Brown Creek, we need to go all the way over to the Skokomish Lower Fork Trailhead, which actually goes to another road. Huh. Sidetrack. It's easy to get sidetracked. Now, in terms of wild animals out here, there are quite a lot. I mean, we have wildcats out here, plus we have bears, but most of them don't like people, so it's not like you really have to worry that much about that. Yes, wildcat might be out here and it might attack, but usually it's just not that much of an issue. I mean, it only happens to a couple people a year. It's just not that common. Ooh, narrow bridge. Pretty. So this basically just is a rocky road, some shallow water crossings and small obstacles, but pretty easy. Nobody's had a trail report on it because it's not that used. Let's see, can I get to where I'm going from here? No, it looks like the road ends before it reconnects back onto where I'm gonna go.
One shot. Let's go, let's go.
Seems to be in the area where we're going. Now down Forest Road 23.
Say that we're just friends, but no friends don't kiss. I feel my body giving in. You want my heart, baby. You say it don't faze me, but oh no, that's not how I think. You make my mind.
So a lot of people have been asking me questions about this Land Cruiser. It's a great opportunity for me to have a little one-on-one time and discuss it. The AT4W tires, are they loud? I would say no. You can hear the knobbies a little bit while you're rolling on the highway, but it's not obnoxious. I think Falken's done an amazing job producing a tire that has just tons of grip, but also just provides a fairly smooth ride. Do I feel bad that I spent so much money on a Land Cruiser? And no, again, the last Land Cruiser I tested was the Heritage Edition. It was $90,000. Now, that also brings up the question of real Land Cruiser versus this, which is based on the Global 250 Prado. So the bodies are a little bit bigger on the full-size Land Cruiser. The wheelbase is exactly the same, though. They're the same wheelbase. They both have rear lockers. They both have center torsons. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Global 300 does have off-road trail turn assist, which the 250 doesn't get. But other than that, there's not a lot different. Now, I know some people are like, well, one's built to a different standard and yada, yada. Okay, fine. Yeah, maybe. I like this size. I will take a couple inches here and there to make this slightly physically smaller because it just works better on the trails where I actually go. Out here in Washington State, our trails can get very tight due to overgrowth. Every inch I can save just goes the extra mile to save the paint on the vehicle from scratches, or rocks, or trees, or dents, or who knows what. I also just love the fact that this vehicle came from the factory with everything I needed. It has the platform on top with the universal hooks. I just took the stuff off my Yakima platform and mounted it to the roof here, no problem. Also the fact that it has these rock rails. Oh, that's a little bit bouncy. They work great. Not only do they protect the underside, they also protect the side impact because they are pushed out a few inches from the side of the body, so that prevents anything from hitting from the side. Overall, yeah, just what a great adventure vehicle. Even though I am bracing, these are very deep holes. These potholes are very deep. Because overall, the suspension on this thing is actually quite good. And even though I'm bracing for them, it's not impacting as bad as some other vehicles might. Like if I was in a Hyundai, I would be losing my fillings right now. But this vehicle, again, you're paying the money for this stuff. This is not free. But we'll just say this vehicle, great adventure vehicle. Whether you're on washboard, potholes, or a rugged off-road situation. And because I have HD tires, which are E-loads, they have extra plies. I think these ones are like 10 ply or something like that. Getting a flat is highly unlikely. But because I went with a 33-inch tire, I was able to mount a full-size spare in the standard spare location. So if I do have an issue, I can swap it out altogether pretty easy. It's not only a matching, I not only have matching tire, I also have matching wheels. So of course I didn't switch into four-wheel drive mode. I don't have to with a Torsen center diff. It's always keeping this vehicle in four-wheel drive. And because the way they've set it up, it's basically a 40-60 torque split. Obviously that varies based on the torsion, but for the most part, it's a rear wheel biased vehicle. So when you add throttle, it feels like it's pushing. It doesn't feel like it's pulling, which is what I prefer. Okay, this pothole road is no fun. I am glad I'm in this vehicle and not something else. Ford Explorer, yeah, not the choice. Oh. I actually have a Ford Explorer at home right now, which was dropped off for testing. It is a rear-wheel drive, so I'm not going to film a review for Driving Sports TV because I just can't do anything really that fun with a rear wheel. Whoa. So, but I was really impressed with the interior on that thing. I mean, it's quite nice. It's a 2025, so it's a redone interior. The tech is great. The interior is great. It drives really nice. I'm going to have to say that the Explorer for a family SUV is definitely moving up on my recommendation list. Okay, so how far are we? We still got a ways to go, so let's go ahead and jump ahead. We'll maybe throw in some GoPro footage here as well as some action cam, because this is optioned with the action cam. Whenever you hear that beep, it's because the jarring has hit a threshold that I set in the application that activates the trail cam, which is kind of cool. Little forest road up there. If we want to destroy our paint, we could go up there. All the branches are growing in. Let's not. And we are continuing here. We do have some options up here that I'll have to make a decision on. Oh, look, it's paved again. This is so weird. I wonder if they like paved this whole thing like in the 1950s and then just have never revisited it. And sections have completely fallen apart while other sections have survived for whatever reason. Roads are funny. Okay, so according to this map, I'm going to have to stop up here and take a look at the map situation. I can clearly see the route that I'm supposed to take, but the route I'm supposed to take is taking me off the main line, and I just want to doubly check that before I start going off into the middle of nowhere. Always check your map twice. Another little lake thing. So this is Spur Road 2361. Now, according to my routing, I'm supposed to go down here. It is paved down there, though, so it might be a major road. Let's take a look. So I am currently there. So there's two ways to get there. I can go this way. This is the shortcut that'll take me through the Church Creek Shelter Trailhead. Might be a little... Is that a good road? Is that a real road? Basically, I can stay on main lines, or I can take this as a shortcut. Let's see what this shortcut does, because it looks like it goes right over Chapel Peak, and that might be a... this is one of those minor roads that hasn't been mapped out on Onyx in detail. They don't have it set up as a route, and often I find that's for a reason. So let's poke our nose down here and see what this road looks like. Oh, can't do it anyway. It's closed. So, interesting. It's probably closed for the season. I kind of like it, actually, when the roads make the decision for you. I have no doubt I cannot go down that road because there's a big old gate in front of it. Okay, as we were, let's press on. Have I commented on how smooth this powertrain is? It is really superb. It hardly feels like it's a new powertrain from Toyota, but man, this thing is dialed in. And yeah, it is a Turbo 4 with an electric motor as an assist, and the electric motor is built into the transmission, so basically it just adds power when needed through the four-wheel drive system. Very much unlike the way the RAV4 hybrid deals with all-wheel drive, where that has a dedicated electric motor in the back. Now this one, basically there's all the power sources up front, and they both tap into the same four-wheel drive system, which is kind of awesome. It just gives you all the capability and all the power. Now, if I was to compare this to like my Ranger Raptor, the Ranger Raptor feels fast. This doesn't particularly feel fast, but it's a Land Cruiser. It's not supposed to. This isn't some like Yahoo truck jumping thing. This is it's a forest cruiser, and it's doing that job very well, and it is so dialed in. I mean, even the steering feels very good in conditions like this, which I love. This thing is fantastic. Oh, we're climbing. Yeah, I get the feeling this is going to be a ridge road. Kind of feels like that with some switchbacks. I can see them in the map, so that makes sense. So on the downside, that's a sheer drop. On the upside, there's trees to catch me. Hello, hold on to nothing. When on roads like this, we should start to think about soil dynamics. I also trust the Forest Service knows what they're doing, and they would close roads that were absolutely dangerous, because these are forest access roads. They are available to the public. Feel a little more comfortable. We've got trees here now. That's good. So I'm going to come up here. It's going to be a tight bend in between hills. Tree down. So that little tree down is a good example of, you got to really keep your eyes aware while you're driving on roads like this. Whereas if you're on a highway, freeway, or even just any paved road, you know that there's maintenance and that it's going to all be fine. You can take your eyes off the road for a couple seconds and nothing's going to jump out at you. Here, literally, things could jump out at you. As you know, there are animals out here, of course, that you might catch unawares as you come around a corner. And more important, there's rocks that fall off the hills, or trees, or who knows what. So you gotta focus on what's ahead of you here. This is not a time to be texting, that's for sure. If all our roads look like this, nobody would be texting. There, that's my platform. Vote for Ryan. He will make all roads awful, so you won't text anymore. So this road right here, it looks like every other road out in the Olympic Peninsula. Basically a tight dirt and gravel road hugging the side of a cliff. That's pretty much what they got out here. You know, basically what I-90 looked like back in the 1920s. So yeah, we're 100 years in the past out here. Eventually, this too might be a interstate highway. Am I having visions of Colin McRae and sliding around these corners? Yes, I am. Am I going to do that? No, I'm not. Wow, we've gained some altitude. I think we're up to a couple thousand feet now. Now my tire pressures, I'm keeping them at my standard pressure, which is in the low 30s. Depending on altitude, that'll change, of course, but I'm about 33 PSI. I find that that's a nice kind of compromise, kind of do everything pressure for these kind of tires. It probably hurts my economy a little bit. If I added a little more air, I'd probably get a little bit better economy, but I do so much mixed use driving, I just find that this pressure works well for me. Right, this is the main line, I guess. Yeah, that should be the most direct way. This is called the Dusk Point Trail. According to Onyx, it is a 20-mile loop with a rating of 2 out of 10. So this should be easy. So on these type of adventures, I don't get out and shoot exterior shots as often as I do on a proper review, and it's mostly because I don't know where I'm going and I don't know how long it will take. We have limited daylight these days because the sun does set around 5 o'clock here now. Okay, it's actually closer to 6, but it starts to get dark around 5. So I have limited daylight, so I'm kind of trying to plug through this. If I come back with another vehicle, then we'll spend some more time on beauty shots of the area. Oh look, I'm climbing up a cliff again. Huh. It's called Dusk Peak. Whoa, I can see Mount Rainier. That's cool. Wow. you don't like heights, I don't think the Olympic Mountains are a really good place to kind of drive because there's a lot of sheer drops around here. Okay, Dusk Peak Loop, what do you got? Ooh, that's a drop. So you can just imagine trying to drive this in the snow. Yeah, I enjoy driving in the snow, but that might be just a little much. A little rocky section here. So it's Dusk Peak on my left right now. Maybe we'll try to go up it. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what the road in looks like. So we got a bend here. Oh, looks like somebody's been up here recently. I see some tire tracks. This is where I start to hope that it doesn't start the growth doesn't get too tight. Because if it does, I'm going to be out there hacking with a machete. I mean, I understand a little scratches, but let's not overdo it, right? I don't have to repaint this thing. So I guarantee you, this weekend, somebody will be out here in like an Oldsmobile Cutlass or something. People just drive out here with whatever they've got. And that's great, right? You know, if you understand what you're getting into and you got something you don't mind scratching a little bit or needs to have a little extra push to get through some challenging sections, then yeah, you do you. Squid Ridge, the real Dusk Peak. You know, you see signs like that, and I'm not really sure if I believe them. Oh, I'm not going up that. No, that will destroy my paint. Oh, now spectacular views from the left. Oh, we got some shale here. Ooh, deep ditches for runoff too. Stay out of the runoff ditch, but also not scratch the paint. It's a delicate balance. Go. View at 2,400 feet. Nice. Okay, so we're going to take a right here and head over to the loop. Hopefully this goes through. This is Forest Route 2372, Church Creek Trail. So either this is a more direct route, or it is taking me, if I have to loop back, it's going to add a lot of travel time. And this powertrain is just great. I just add a little bit, it goes, the combination of the turbo with the electric boost at the bottom end, it's fantastic. It really is. Now, I say that on this vehicle. They use the same powertrain Toyota does on the Tacoma TRD Pro. But see, the Tacoma TRD Pro, that's more of a desert runner truck. With that one, I want more oomph. This doesn't have a lot of oomph. It's smooth and it's great, but it's a little oomphless compared to my Ranger Raptor, which is full of oomph. So I think that unfortunately, as much as I like this powertrain in this vehicle, I don't think it works as well in the Tacoma TRD Pro, which is unfortunate. I would love to see a twin turbo V6 in the Tacoma TRD Pro, but that's probably not going to happen. Anyway, we're going to continue down this road, and hopefully it'll get us where we need to go. It's the fun of scouting, you know? Another bridge. Lots of little old bridges out here, little creeks. It's cute. Really pretty out here. Ooh, a bog. I'm actually coming up to the other side of that road that I tried to take earlier but was closed. So the other side of the shortcut. So it'd be interesting to see if it's open on this side or if they close it further into the route. Okay, so where's the road? That's the road. Is that the road? It's not much of a road. Heck. That is the road. Huh. It's not really a road anymore. I'm guessing that road actually has been closed for a while, or it's probably doable with a motorbike maybe. Yeah, well, Church Creek Road, 871, you're a no-go. Okay, so let's continue on. And at least it still looks like a main route here still. So we're doing okay. Hopefully it stays this way. We can get all the way over to Wynoochee Lake. Wynoochee Lake. That's a steep peak. Seems like a lot of the spur roads out here are overgrown. So not a lot of options off the main line. Wow, even this road, not really sure I would call this a main line. It's rough. Wow. Yikes. Don't look down. Just imagine what it's like to build these roads. Like you're up here with an excavator on the side of a cliff, blasting, moving, and trying to create a shelf road of some kind. It's just insane. Oop, drainage ditch. Oh yeah. The character of the road has changed dramatically as I'm exiting down by Lake Wynoochee. So even though we've come down quite a long drop, we're still at about, I think, 1,500 feet or so elevation. So this is a altitude lake, which is neat. We're going to be coming down on a main line. Thankfully, this went all the way through, and it was quite a nice drive, actually. But I am definitely getting hungry for lunch. So let's stop by the lake and see how close we can get to the shore. Oh, apparently Tacoma gets power from this lake. This is a dammed lake. Huh. I don't mean a lake of the damned. I just mean it's an artificial lake. Let's see if we can get all the way down here, though. Oh, sploosh, splash. Whee! Lakeshore trails that way. And I can drive out to the shore this way. Cool.
Going down to the sky.
Love it.
All I want is to be there. With a new state of mind. A place I've never heard of. I will walk like a nomad. I've been stuck inside my house too long. Can't stand being all alone. Wasting hours on my phone. I'm ready to go now. On my way. I won't let fear hold me back.
Now it's time for lunch with a view. And of course, I have been storing my lunch in the cool box, so it's nice and chilly. Even the soda.
My heart is full of hope. I'm on my way and I'm ready to stop.
So while this place is lovely, we have to get this party going because we're heading to the Three Peaks Loop, which is just north of here. So yeah, let's saddle up and get moving. The sun is starting to get low and I'm making my way up the mountain, but then I see a spur road that goes down to a river, so I had to take a look. This will be a great place to come back in the future. Glad I found it, but we gotta get moving. Oh boy, it's starting to encroach on the sides. It's making me nervous. So of course, if it gets too thick on the sides and starts to encroach on the road, I'm not going to throw my paint away just for this adventure. So we'll then just have to back down as far as possible and turn around and call it good. Because overall, I'm pretty satisfied with what I've discovered today. Some of those routes were really nice. And then they also have a number of little offshoots that give a little, a few technical sections here and there. So I think that we've really opened up the door for some really good locations for next year, which is awesome. A tight corner with a Y. Before I had OnX maps, I used to use like Garmin and stuff, and they were okay, but they never had up-to-date information about the roads. They would very often say, oh no, go down this road. And you'd see the road and it was decommissioned like 50 years ago. So I found the up-to-date information on OnX to be really, really helpful. Now, is it 100% all the time? No, because things are always changing out here, but especially out in the Olympic Peninsula where you just don't get a lot of traffic to update reports. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to have to probably do, is add some reports myself. But I would say that, overall, it has made these type of adventures so much easier. And I was saying that before they were a sponsor, but now that they're a sponsor, yeah. I love having products that I actually already use as a sponsor. It just makes sense. You have no idea how many requests I get every week for sponsorships. Temu, yeah, they want to do a sponsorship. And so far, they haven't offered anything that's really excited me. I mean, like, what's the products? Yeah, not really doing it. Bad little low pressure air pumps for tires. Oh yeah. Tons of requests to advertise those. But you know what? I don't want to advertise something that I don't really believe in myself. And I've done some ads in the past for, random stuff. Giving it a try. But I decided, at least right now, just not interested in that. I mean, obviously I would make way more money if I took those sponsorships, but money's not everything. Oh, ears are popping. Ugh, there we go. So the peaks of Three Peaks have an altitude of 4,340 feet. It's pretty high. So the nice thing about a turbo hybrid is not affected by elevation at all, which is great. V8, oh yeah, it'd be sucking for air right now. I feel like we're kind of up at the tree line here, which is neat. So let's use this, send up the drone and see what we got. So there's a ledge road right up here, but I'm a little concerned that it's not going to go all the way through, and it's very, very narrow. So there's a good opportunity that I'm going to have to back down all the way. So what I'm going to do is send the drone up to see if it's open. Okay, so I've taken a look at the ledge that I have to drive through. And frankly, I'm chickening out. I don't want to drive that today. So yeah, Three Peaks Loop. It's really steep. And technically this portion of the road is showing up as closed on OnX right now. So I don't really want to like second guess OnX, I guess. It did show that it was open up until this point, but it does mark it as closed going this way. Every time I've doubted OnX, it's turned out that it's actually been correct. So I don't want to go all the way up there and then see a boulder and then have to drive down backwards with a sheer drop. Not fun. So I am going to put a bookmark in this one and come back next year. I mean, this was still a great little drive. Love the Land Cruiser. Such a nice, comfortable ride to have on a day like today. But I'm having fun. Let's not get stressed, right? For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, thumbs up, share it with your friends, and we'll see you again right here real soon.